Hey guys, welcome back to my week by week pregnancy update. This is going to be a little bit different from the others because it's going to involve 2 weeks. This is going to be my week 10 and my week 11 update. So I am now day 1 of week 12. The nausea has really set me back and I've just lost track of time, so I'm going to have to bundle this one as one. But I'm going to try and include all of your information, so like sizing and development for both weeks in case you're at 1 week versus the other. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and click that little bell for notifications so you know when I post my next video. For week 10, the baby is the size of a prune, about 1.5 inches long and about 1/4 ounce. Size and development for week 10, the facial features are now recognizable, like the eyes, nose, mouth, and the stomach and kidneys are now working and they're even producing urine. By week 10, your little baby's heart now has 4 working chambers. For week 11, your baby is now about 2 inches long, about the size of a caterpillar or a key lime. Who really knows? Every app says something different to kind of relate the size to, but I'll go with the key lime. Size and development for week 11, by this time, your baby actually looks like a tiny little monkey. The skin still remains translucent at this point. Your baby now has fingers and toes, and even the fingernails and the toenails are starting to grow by this week. And lastly, the ears are almost in their final shape. My symptoms combined for these 2 weeks, I got cold sores, which have now resolved. I have been nauseous, gassy. I've had nosebleeds. I got some migraines, crazy wacky dreams still. I'm waking up in the night to urinate, and then I wake up in the morning and I feel achy, like achy in my hips and my bones. And I remember that from the first pregnancy also. By the end of week 11, I had this horrible wave of indigestion. Not acid reflux or heartburn or anything like that, just indigestion. Like nothing was happening after I ate. It was just like a lump sitting there, bubbling up to the point where I kind of wanted to barf. But still have yet to really actually vomit. It's just nausea that's constant. I think I've gotten pretty good at clearing my mind and just ignoring the fact that I'm nauseous and just continuing with my day. You gotta do what you gotta do. You can't just sit here and be a complainer all day. You're the one that got yourself in this situation and you're pregnant. So just woman up. Cravings, week 10, I just was like, barf, nothing. No cravings for you guys. I couldn't even let you know. During week 11, I feel like I started to get my little urge back to maybe have coffee back in my life. And I am doing decaf, but I was able to work it into my mornings. Mostly on the weekend where I was able to sit and enjoy it. I did take a cup to work once or twice, but it's still not feeling like it's gonna be an everyday thing. More towards week 11, I was craving smoothies. I feel like smoothies was something that I could think in my head that I could keep down and actually eat. I never actually went and got one, but I would eat like frozen fruit and just cold fruit, cold vegetables, stuff like that. Also, I guess you can call it a craving because I ate it multiple times. Salt and vinegar chips, I just have a giant bag of them and I would eat them at night. And chocolate, specifically the Lindt chocolate, the LINDT, like the chocolate balls that have the hard outer shell and then the soft middle that just melts in your mouth. And then there's bars of that chocolate that are sea salt. So good. Definitely when I do feel like eating, I find myself eating more of the sweets this pregnancy. Definitely tends to make me lean towards the fact that I think that it's most likely gonna be a girl, but I mean, that's just because I'm looking into the old wives' tales. How my body has changed, I just feel more pudgy. I feel like my weight is just kind of fluctuating along with the nausea. I'm probably up a couple pounds, nothing significant, just bloating still and a little pudginess. How I'm feeling emotionally, I just feel like, like a slug kind of. I feel like I'm moving like a snail. Nausea will definitely do that to you. It just kind of like halts your whole day. But yeah, I just feel like not as motivated as I usually would. Things we did these last couple weeks. During week 10, we went and got my son's first blood workup. It was just kind of like general blood testing for their complete blood count, and then they test for lead. So we had to take him and he had to get like peripherally drawn blood, and my husband had to hold him down. It was crazy. I actually cried I don't know if it's because I'm pregnant or because you just were watching your son scream his little brains out. And I think that he screamed more because of the tourniquet, not because of the actual needle going in his arm. But it was so crazy. My husband and I also do our annual trip to this holiday store. It's called Feeney's. It's in PA. And we go every year on our date anniversary. So this year is 8 years. And we go and pick out ornaments that kind of just like represent the year. So this year we got thing 1 and thing 2 as an ornament. We haven't yet announced at that point, so I didn't really post about that on social media. What else did we get? And my son is obsessed with birds, so we got like 3 different bird ornaments because we just go, look at the birdie, and he just cracks up and smiles. So birds were definitely the theme this year, and we got an elf on the shelf. We had a cousin's sleepover. This last week and the week before were pretty busy. That had to do something with why this is just a combo video too. So we had a cousin's sleepover with our nephews. So both of them slept over, and then Cole was up just raging with them. It was the cutest thing ever. And then we had a cookie bake-off at our friend's house. So everybody baked their favorite cookie, and it was kind of like a cookie contest. And then we did our little grab bags at the end. So that was definitely like great for my cookie cravings and all my sweet cravings. During week 11, getting closer to Christmas, is when I finally figured out what we were gonna do for our Christmas cards. We actually took the picture that we took of Cole with Santa at Feeney's, and then we set up a little sign so that we could do our pregnancy announcement. And it said, Santa's not the only one coming to town, and it kind of like announced our pregnancy. So I wanted to send out those cards to all of our family and friends before I social media announced. Luckily, with a bit of a rush, that is what we were able to do, and it all worked out. Also, during week 11 is when the first person at work kind of just like looked at me and asked me, are you expecting? And that's not somebody that I had told yet. So I got really emotional because it was just like, oh my God, somebody's calling me out for this, and now I'm talking about it like, oh my God, it makes it feel more real, like, So then after that, I actually ended up telling work. So I did the same thing that I did for my first pregnancy, but I toned it down a little bit. I just got a box of munchkins, and I wrote a little note on it and put an ultrasound photo just to kind of like leave it around and let everybody like slowly see it and know that I'm expecting, because I feel weird just being like, hey, guess what, out of nowhere, I'm pregnant. Like, I don't know. I'd rather just kind of like word of mouth spread. And that's what kind of happened. So now it's out in the open at work. I sent out my Christmas card so family and friends are aware. And then my next step is going to be to announce to everybody on social media and get these videos going. Another random thought was just, I've had some people say, you look like you're glowing. And I'm like, what does that mean? Because I haven't been glowing at all. Like, I actually feel like I look like crap, and in a way I'm like, what does glowing mean? Does glowing mean that I've looked like crap for the last week, and then one day I decided to put my makeup on for once, and now I look like I'm glowing? I don't know. What does your glowing mean? Please leave it in the comments, because I don't know. Because I know for a fact that I'm not glowing. My skin is crappy. My face is not glowing. I felt like I was actually glowing with my first pregnancy, which was a boy. This time around, it is not that way. I don't feel pretty at all. I don't feel glow worthy. I mean, right now I have my makeup on, so don't get me wrong. Like, I'm trying to pull myself together for this video, but on a daily basis when I'm having no makeup on and I just am feeling pregnant, I'm not glowing. What's comforting to me these last couple weeks? Definitely taking hot showers, sleeping, and using my fetal doppler. I haven't mentioned this, and I don't like to mention it a lot, but I do have one of those fetal dopplers. Mine is by UKISS. It's the ones that basically the office uses to listen to the baby's heart rate when you're in the office, and that's all they're doing when you're not getting an ultrasound.
Say 126.
I don't think that's accurate. It's like right there.
Right there.
But I know that they're not suggested, and I'll put a warning in here like it shouldn't be something that you get and you use, because it could prolong treatment if there is something wrong. So if you do get one, just never use it as a thing to reassure yourself in the way that would prevent you from going to the doctor and getting help if you needed it. Especially, I would say, if you do have one, don't use it once you start relying on fetal movements. If then you feel something is wrong, then you should just go to the doctor. But anywho, I have one, and ever since having the miscarriage, I just used it maybe 3 times my whole pregnancy. This pregnancy, I've actually stuck it on there quite a bit. Not like a tremendous amount, but probably like 4 or 5 times already. But I'll just put some gel on my belly and I'll put the Doppler there and I'll hear the heart rate and then I'll be like, okay, and take it off. It's just like that little bit of reassurance that like, okay, you're still there. Don't go anywhere. Things that I'm looking forward to, I'm going to really try to surprise my husband for his 40th birthday and get the gender blood work done. So I don't know how that's gonna work out. He kind of voiced his opinion saying that would be the greatest birthday present if we could do a gender reveal on my birthday. So I've actually been telling him that I don't want to get the genetic testing because it is out of pocket because I'm not 35. It's non-invasive testing. They draw your blood. They get a bunch of genetic work, and then a byproduct of that is you find out gender also. So we would just be doing it for the gender, which is like really superficial, but hey, I mean, I don't have any risk factors. I'm not 35. A plus for me would be to get all of the genetic testing too. So my hopes are that I can just tell them to do the blood work and not tell my husband while he's in the office, and then I can get the results before his birthday and do an egg Russian roulette again and just kind of hand him the eggs as a birthday present and have him open them, and he's gonna be like, what? We're doing this? And then it's like, oh my gosh. So we'll see how that works out. I already talked to my friends. I talked to his parents and family, and everybody's aware of my plan to not say anything. And if he said she doesn't want to get the genetic testing, just kind of like go along with it and tell him to be quiet. We'll see how that works out. Things I'm scared or nervous about? Nothing really. I just feel like really happy and hopeful and just taking one day at a time, which everybody should do because there's nothing more you can do. You shouldn't be worried about anything. What's gonna happen is gonna happen, and so far so good. My belly hasn't really changed much from week 10 to 11, or 10 through 11. So let's take a look at how my bump is progressing. So this is my belly for week 10 and 11, day 1 of week 12.